guilty.
What's good, guys? It's your girl Fats. Hope you guys are well. Today we have a special guest all the way from Tanzania, Dar es Salaam. He's a producer and a sound engineer. We have Alkeys in the building. Hey.
Hi.
How's your
everyone.
day been? How's your morning been?
It's been a calm morning. Typical Monday.
Wow.
Yeah,
What did you
it's going
do?
well. Woke up, got ready, came to the studio. Then I set myself up, set my light up for this interview.
Oh, those lights are cool. Where'd you get those lights from?
It's basic lights. It's just a ring light. A ring
No, but the
light.
lights at the back, the blue lights.
Oh, that's just a bulb.
Oh,
It's just a
nice.
blue bulb. I figured it kind of makes it look cool back there.
Nice. So what does your day consist of as a producer and a sound engineer? Like what is the day-to-day life like?
My day starts a bit late. I get to the studio around 11 a.m., 12,
Nice.
and I'm here for depending on the day, between 8 to 12 hours. And yeah, I leave the studio around between 9 p.m. or midnight, go home. So on the daily, as soon as I get to the studio, I'm checking my emails, answering messages, sending files, stuff like that. As soon as I'm done with that, depending on what I need to do, I'll mix a track, or I'll just start creating if I don't have any work that I'm supposed to do like that. Or on days where I have sessions with someone, I usually set up sessions starting from 12, so that I'm already done with the admin stuff that I do immediately when I get to the studio, and everything is set up for the session, whether that's a recording session, whether I'm doing a song or a podcast or stuff like that. And then, yeah, after that,
Nice.
it's just creating until I'm tired and I want to go home.
I love that. But I'm intrigued because the other day you went to like a Vodacom event and you was all smart looking, all suited and booted, looking fresh with your team. Like,
Mhm.
what were you guys doing? Like, were you guys performing? Were you guys playing there?
Yeah, we got hired to play for like a 30-minute set to basically just be a live band, play some calm music uh, during dinner for that event, because it was an award event specifically for Vodacom employees. So yeah, so yeah, it was nice. It was nice.
Was
It
it
was
like your
nice.
first event or do you guys do this on a regular?
That was our first event. Yes.
That must have been special then.
Yeah, it was special. It was special. It was special to me. Good excuse to wear a suit.
I know, right? You was all looking smart. I was like, okay.
Definitely.
When did you
Uh-huh.
start learning how to play like the piano and like the guitar? Is it something like you started from early?
Piano, yes. I started playing piano back when I was in grade 5, primary school.
Oh.
And we used to have at my school, we had a music teacher that was teaching us piano and stuff. And then, coincidentally, he came and lived at one of our houses that was right next to my place. So my parents were renting the house, right? And I don't even remember how it happened. He just asked me. I don't know why he asked me. If I know I was a kid. I don't know why he asked me. I told my parents, and it worked out. And he moved in. Basically, he was our neighbor. He's still our neighbor to this day. And after that, I started taking classes, and I would either go to his house, or he would come to my house. My uncle bought me a keyboard, and I started playing keyboard. Started taking classes, and yeah, I slowly got better. I used to just play classical music because I was just learning music theory, and I liked it, but it was okay. Uh, I started producing after high school, uh, I don't know if you know, but Yeyo and I went to the same school.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yes. So we went to the same school, and towards the end, like around when it was like 2 years left in high school, we started performing at like talent shows at school and stuff like that. Uh, and we were used to perform together. He would perform like he would rap original songs of his, and I would just accompany him on the piano. And people loved it, man. People loved it. I remember after high school, we started doing just random events, just outside of school, and people loved it. So everyone was asking us to release the music, and this was basically the reason I started producing, because we
Oh.
started taking. I had never seen a studio. I didn't know how music was made. I didn't. I didn't know nothing. I didn't know anything, and we started going around to random studios because we had no money, right? They It was just off of favors, people at shows saying, hey, you can come record at my studio and we'll record you a song for you for free. And through seeing that process and seeing these studios, I was like, huh, all I really need is a laptop, right? I already have
Mm.
a keyboard. So I started learning how to do that. And yeah, and as far as guitar, I started learning how to play guitar in 2020 when the
Oh, that's not
coronavirus.
long. That's not long ago.
Yeah,
That's like
it's
two
not.
years ago.
Yeah,
But you play as if like you've been playing for like since like you was a baby.
yeah, that virus, man. I had a lot of time.
Oh yeah, during lockdown, innit?
Yeah, I had a lot of
Ah.
time. I was practicing every day, and my motivation was I really just wanted guitar on my beats, and I didn't want to have to pay someone.
Mm.
And yeah, so I used to just every time I would make a beat, I would try, I would practice. So I had a lot of excuses to practice.
Interesting.
So I got better over time. But yeah.
Wow. Well, that's interesting because I was gonna say would you say that your journey started from making beats for like rappers or from like way back from school days or even like a few years ago?
I would say my journey started with Yeyo. So yeah,
Yes.
making
So from
for
school days, isn't it?
yeah, not well, yes, yes, from school days. But as far as production, it was
Mm.
after. Yeah,
So how long was that then?
that was 2017.
Like
2017.
properly, like
2017.
officially.
Not professionally. I was just learning. It was just a hobby at this
Mm.
point.
Yeah.
I uh yeah, at this point Yeyo went to school overseas. I was still here,
Mm.
and I was just practicing for fun. And fast forward to 2019, done I came up I came up on some money, right?
Mm.
And at this point, I was at peak interest with music. So I pretty much spent all that money on speakers and an audio interface and just the works. I got the guitar at this point. This is 2019,
Mm.
and then at this point, I was also finishing my second year. No, yeah, I was finishing my diploma in computer science,
Oh,
and I
nice.
was not loving it, right? So I talked to my parents and I told them, hey, so I want to do this full time. I want to
And
at
how'd they
least.
take it?
They were surprisingly supportive.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. They were okay with it. They were like, yeah, you can try it, do whatever you want.
Oh.
So I just did that, and I didn't look back ever since. That first year was rough though. I don't know why I kept going.
So why was it rough though?
No money. Nobody knows me.
Oh, true.
I'm not getting any work. I had equipment. I didn't have a studio. So it was also kind of weird asking people to come to my mom's house in my room to work. So that was not, it was not ideal, but I learned a lot.
Mm.
Hmm.
So what was it that kept you going? Was it the passion that kept you going?
It was not really having much of an interest in anything else and
Yeah.
realizing that it's tough either way, whatever route I take. There was no like if at that point I would have seen a route with like any other path that would have been easy, where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make so much money doing that, I would have taken it, right? But
Mm.
each path was just rough. It's like, okay, I could ask for a job and do that, but I'm not really gonna enjoy that. Getting jobs is not easy. So I'm like, I might as well, you know, just do what I love. And even if I struggle doing it, at least I'm doing what I like, you know?
Mm.
Yeah,
That's so inspiring. When you look back, do you feel, like, are you glad that you didn't give up?
definitely. Definitely. I'm glad. I'm very glad. I feel like I would have been miserable doing anything else. Because I
Mm.
worked for a while. I worked for like 6 months, and it was hell. I didn't like
Was it
it.
like the computer science that you were doing, or just a casual job?
It was just a casual job,
Oh,
but I didn't like it. But even if it was computer science, I wouldn't have liked it because I wasn't really very fond of that either.
nice. Amazing. Now, speaking of Yeyo, you
Mm-hmm.
and Yeyo have been friends for a very long time, like since primary school to high
Yes.
school. Like
Mm-hmm.
at this point, you guys even like work together. You produce a lot of his songs, and like you guys might as well be brothers because you're that like close, you're that solid. We don't find that much in the industry. Like it's quite rare, you know, to find that in the
Mm-hmm.
industry. How are you able to maintain a strong friendship and a strong working relationship?
Uh, I would say I prioritize the friendship first over work,
Mm, yeah.
and because I believe, and he believes this too, money is like the root of all evil between friendships.
Mm,
So we're very upfront with each other about how we work and what our goals are.
mm.
And we've been through a lot. So our friendship is way more important than the work that we do. So that's how we've been able to stay friends and stay solid all these years.
What advice would you give to anyone that is an up and coming producer trying to get into the industry and
Mhm.
wanting to build relationships in the industry, but they're a bit too scared and are holding back because probably they just don't want to be taken advantage of?
First of all, it's gonna happen. That there's no escaping getting
Mm,
taken advantage of. It's gonna happen. But the beauty of it, is that you're going to weed out the bad people, and you're gonna find some very genuine people that you're gonna enjoy working with, and you're gonna build those relationships, and they're gonna be very strong, right? And you're gonna appreciate them because you know what's out there. So just have that in mind, that it's ruthless. And I don't think it's any different from any other industry. There's bad people in everywhere. So just try it and go out there, make friends, figure out that, okay, this person, they're not for me. I'm gonna have to move on and find someone else. And yeah, when you find your people, it's amazing, because I believe that success is better when you're with your friends. It's
mm,
so much more fun when you're working with your friends. It's not very fun alone, or working with people that you don't really like. You don't really vibe with them like that. It's not
mm.
fun, right? So yeah, my advice would be just, suck it up, man.
Wow.
Just go
Which
out
brings
there.
me to my next question,
Uh-huh.
because 2 years ago you worked on the One King album.
Hmm.
You had a bit of like a contribution in the album. You worked with a producer called Yoga Beats.
Right.
Like, would you say that that project really is what really put you on the map?
In a way, yes.
Mm,
Over here, yes, definitely. It really put me on the map over here. It also gave me a lot of confidence. Just, I would say it gave me more confidence than anything. That,
mm,
hey, I can do this. I'm out here, I can do this professionally. I can confidently tell someone that, hey, I am a professional music producer and engineer, and I can show them that, hey, I've done this, yeah, this guy, right? That was, for the most part, it did that for me, as well as just the experience of working with them, getting to know how just the industry works over here, getting to meet uh, other producers like Yogo. That was an experience, man. I learned a lot from this man, from Ali Kiba and his team, Tommy Flavor. So it was a trip. It was a great learning experience, and I'm glad I was able to move on from there to where I am now, where I'm very confident in where I want to go with my music and the direction that I want to go. Right.
Do you think it opens so many doors for you as well, so many opportunities as well, like working with them as well?
It did, but not in the way that I thought it would.
Interesting.
Because I thought it would be, oh, you work, because he's like, if he's not number one here, he's number two, right? On a bad day, he's number three, right? So, and the song I worked on, the song he featured King Rudy, like, that's P Square, right? So, in my mind, I'm thinking I am out of here. Like,
Like,
don't
don't
even
talk
look
to
at
me.
me. Yeah, don't look at me directly. Like, don't make eye contact. Nah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to get an assistant.
Yeah.
Like, the phone is gonna be ringing constantly. So I'm saying, I thought it would be just. I thought I would be out of here, man. I thought opportunities would just be, people would just be calling me, my phone would be ringing nonstop, but people did call me, but it was mostly just, congratulations, we're happy for you, and that was great. But it wasn't much, people like reaching out to work and stuff like that. It was okay. So the benefit really came with just having that, like, on my CV, basically. So
Okay.
now when I approach someone for something, I have something to say. I did this. So they take you not even a bit, they take you a lot more seriously when you've done something significant before. And that's definitely been a big help for me.
Interesting. Now, when working in that space, obviously you met with different artists. You are currently working with Tommy Flavor. How did that come about with you guys working together now, working on his projects as well?
Well, actually, I started working with Tommy. That was my in.
Oh, okay.
A mutual connected us, and he was very insistent that we should work together. And I was like, yeah, 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 I would love to work with him. And right around that time, it was 2019. No, it was 2020. 2020, late 2020. I met with Tommy, and right around that time, they were working on Ali Kiba's album, and Tommy was writing on that. So, in some of the songs that we were working with Tommy, one of those songs became Salute, which was a song I did with Ali Kiba. And yeah, so it just been working with Tommy constantly, because the first time we worked, it went great. So we kept on just linking up just to work on random things, and then I got to meet Yogo, and I got to learn that they were working on the album. I built a friendship with Yogo, and I would just tag along and work with him on that as well. Next thing I know, I've pretty much touched, at least there's my touch in at least each one of the songs. So yeah, that's how that worked. Tommy was the first.
Nice. What would you say to the people out there in terms of, like, because obviously you started working from home, right? You started
Right.
working from home, then you had your studio. What would you say
Right.
to the people out there that are like up and coming producers, and they want to do what you do? They see your page, they want to do what you do, but like they're holding themselves back, saying that, oh, I don't have the latest equipment, I don't have the latest laptop, I don't have the latest studio, I don't have the latest software. Like, what would you say to them in terms of that, based on your experience?
It doesn't matter what you have. you can get it. It definitely, it's more comfortable to have the nice stuff, to have a space. It's a lot more comfortable, but you don't need it, right? Even with all the gear that I have, sometimes I'm like, I could have made what I make now at home in my room. It's not much
Mm.
of a difference. It's just it's slightly more comfortable, right? So I would advise just use what you have, because I used to use what I had. I had a keyboard at first, a Casio cheap keyboard, and I used to carry that around with me. I used to hop on buses to go on shows with Yeyo with my 61 key keyboard. I don't know if you know how the buses are over here
Yeah.
in Texas. Yeah, so I used to take that with me in the bus and everything, and then I just used my cheap laptop to make beats on that with my little keyboard, and I moved on from there. Then I was in my room, and now I'm in a studio. And the thing is, there's always bigger, there's always better. There's If you wait and wait and wait, I could say right now that no, I want to have a whole console before I start producing. It's gonna take forever. I'll never get there. So just
Mm.
use what you have, and yeah, people are making hits on phones now.
Yeah.
So just be creative.
And not to delay it, I guess, right?
Right.
Nice.
Hmm.
Now it's very interesting because obviously I don't know if you would agree with me, but because in the creative space nowadays, like having a degree is a bonus, but you don't really need it anymore. Like you've got Google, you've got YouTube now to learn different
Right.
skills, how to use the software and stuff like that, right? As well.
Hmm. Right. I agree with that. I know so many people. I've met so many people who went to school for sound engineering, for music production, that will tell you that was a waste of my money. All everything that they were teaching us was stuff I mostly already knew. And
Mm,
yeah, so I'm honestly very glad that I didn't go to school for sound engineering or anything like that, or music
mm,
production, because you learn most of this stuff on the job, and you can learn a lot of this stuff on YouTube, on the internet, from people you connect with. You'll be just as good, if not better, than most people out there, just
yeah.
by doing it on your own. I learned how to play guitar without any teacher. It was just YouTube, literally, and practice.
Wow.
Exactly. So I wouldn't advise. You don't have to. If you have the money, right? If your parents are ready to just pay for you, hey, why not? Why not? You're gonna connect with a lot of people, and that's where I see the value of like university and stuff. Like you connect with a lot
Mm,
of people, but outside of that, you can learn most of that stuff on your own. And the way uni works, you kind of do just learn it on your own.
mm,
It's mostly, they'll give you a lecture, but you'll go figure it out, and then they'll give you an assignment, and that's basically how you learn. They're basically making you go to YouTube and learn it in a way. So yeah, it's not super important that you get a degree.
So would you say that you're like a practical learner or like a theory learner?
Practical, definitely. Every time I learn something new, I have to try it. If I don't try it, I'll forget it and I'll not understand it ever. I have to do it.
Amazing. So
Hmm.
in terms of like the creative space, the creative scene in Tanzania, would you say like we're moving forward in the industry, or are we still stuck, or do you see that there's some changes that are being made?
Uh, we're not stuck, but we are kind of stuck.
Mm,
But
why so?
people are waking up. The industry here is, especially as a music producer, it's tough because we don't have a proper. We do have a performance rights organization, but it doesn't really do its job. So
Mm,
the business side of music over here is very it almost doesn't exist, right? So it's very
Mm,
hard to make money as a music producer, right? Especially on the back end.
yeah.
If you don't make your money up front, you're not making basically.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's I would say that's the biggest problem here, especially as a music producer. And yeah, but people are waking up. I see more producers start to release their own music and stuff like that, so that
Yeah.
they have full ownership and stuff like that. And it's a beautiful thing. I myself, I'm planning on starting to release some music
Oh,
soon.
okay. What, are you gonna be rapping or singing?
No, 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 no. I want to start doing. Oh, I don't know if you saw. I started. I opened a TikTok. I posted a remix, and it went crazy.
Really?
Yeah, I
When
remixed
was this?
a week ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remixed a SZA song, Kill
Oh
Bill.
yeah, I did see it. I did see it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
posted it on
yeah.
Instagram. It didn't really do much, but on TikTok it has like 300,000 views, and that's
It
crazy.
blew up.
It blew up. So I'm thinking, great. I've been wanting to release my own music. I can just start with the remixes because it would get me a lot of like listens and stuff like that uh,
Mm,
on platforms, and then I can move on to create other things. But basically, yeah, the music scene here is it's tough as a music producer because you don't own anything basically,
mm.
right? Even most of the songs that get released out here, you're not even gonna see yourself get credit on like the platforms, right?
Oh
Uh, you
wow.
see a you see a song on Spotify that you know you produced, but
Yeah.
you're not in the credits, and stuff like that. So we're moving forward because people are waking up, and hopefully we figure it out soon. The business side of things, hopefully our uh, Kosota, it's called Kosota in Basata. Hopefully these organizations step their game up
Mm,
and start collecting royalties for us like they're supposed to.
mm,
hmm Because another thing is I've always wanted to get into licensing and stuff like that. And it's been tough because our PROs over here, they're not affiliated with any major PROs outside of the country, overseas. And so it makes it very hard to sell music on these sync libraries and stuff like that as a music producer to so that we can, make some money that way. And so I'm finding myself having to jump through hoops to sign up with a PRO from maybe the States or from the UK to work to so that I can have a workaround for that,
mm.
basically. So yeah, it's tough, but there's ways you know, you can make a living out here.
So what changes do you want to see happen? And do you see yourself perhaps, or even though you are currently in Tanzania, but do you see yourself taking yourself overseas as a producer?
Definitely. That's definitely in the plans. I see myself in 1 or 2 years I'll start going overseas to just chase opportunities.
Mm.
Yeah. Put myself in rooms where I can fully realize my potential,
Any
basically.
particular locations that you're thinking?
I'm thinking more in the States because I'm like my ultimate dream is to get into music for film and stuff like that.
Oh,
And I feel like
okay.
the movie side is over there in the States.
Mm, yeah,
It's more, yeah. So I would definitely go out there.
love that. Now, going back to your friendship with Yeyo, it's funny because you guys are that tight that you even used to go to interviews with him. Like,
Right.
yeah, you guys used to actually go, like, that's, I actually thought at first you guys were like brothers, like blood brothers, because you literally have been in Yeyo's journey, like every step of the way, like even going
Right.
into interviews, like, And that's what I mean. Like, it's very rare to find that, because we don't really find much of that loyalty in the industry. Like, pretty much a lot of people are to themselves. When you look back at the journey that you guys have been through, even on a personal level, like, are you guys glad that you guys have found one another, like, from young? And like, how, like, I have to go back to that. Like, how are you guys like maintaining that? Because it must be like, it, I don't know, is it hard, like, maintaining that kind of friendship, like being friends for that long, working together, going to interviews together, working out together, and also producing his music as well?
Right. It's I can't say it's hard. It's been fun. I can't, and I definitely I wouldn't have it any other way, because if it wasn't for my friendship with him, if it wasn't for this journey, I would have never been a producer, I think. Because the whole reason I started production was because of performing with him, and then people wanting us to go to like record and release the music. So if that never happened, I would have never discovered music production, and I would have just been, the guy that plays keyboard every now and then. So, and honestly, I wouldn't have wanted my life to go any other way. So I really appreciate him, and yeah, man, it's not difficult. It's not difficult. It's fun.
Yeah. And especially like, even like, even when it comes to like having conversations about work, like, how do you guys, like, say, like, if you guys get into, I'm not saying that you do, but like, if you guys get into some kind of disagreement, like, how do you guys maintain a healthy communication and just, just being professional? Like, how do you separate professional and personal?
Uh, so yeah, like I said, I personally, and I feel like he does this too, we prioritize our friendship over the work, and
Mm.
that's what we're capable of being around. Because there's times where we're at the studio for 3 4 days in a row, just
Non-stop.
getting, yeah, nonstop. We're just at the
Uh-huh.
studio. It will take a little, like, some breaks, but we're constantly there, and I'm working with him until we're done. And just being around someone for that long, if you just prioritize the work, it's uh, it's not gonna go very well, because especially with the fact that he's an artist, and it's very hard for even getting that ship to take off. It's it takes a lot of patience and stuff like that. So if you are just in it for, I want us to make money, I want us to, where's my cut,
Mm.
and this and that, if that's
Mm.
your focus, yeah, you're probably gonna last like 6 months maybe. But
Wow.
if if it's friendship, yeah, it's just, it lasts. It will last a long time. It will last forever. And like I
I'm
said, with
glad that you mentioned that,
mm-hmm,
in terms of like money and stuff, because we see a lot of relationships break down because of money, like, because of
right,
like, where's my car, and then everything being blasted on social media. And that's what I mean, like, you guys have
mm-hmm,
that friendship, you guys built that foundation over friendship, because
yeah,
oftentimes people in the industry, there's egos, people get greedy, and like, it's just nice to see.
right, right. So yeah, my whole focus has been, sure, we're trying to get this ship take off, like
Mm.
his brand, the brand, the Yeyo brand. But as much as I'm pushing that, I have other dreams, right? My
Mm.
ultimate dream isn't to be, Yeyo's producer,
Okay.
but I'm pushing that, right? So
Mm.
as I'm doing that, I'm pushing for my own thing, and he's
Mm-hmm.
also pushing for his own thing. Like he's really getting into influencing and stuff like that right now, and so
Mm-hmm.
he does that. So I know personally, whether this, like, I'm gonna push hard as hell to make sure that this ship takes off, the Yeyo brand.
Mm.
But whether it does or not,
Mm.
I'm okay.
Okay.
So if things don't go well, even if things are going kind of rough with the brand, I'm okay, right? And I can even invest into it if need be. And
Mm.
it's this him, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that really helped. If it was oh, if I was just all in on Yeyo, this has to work, maybe that would have been different. But yeah,
And the goal and the dream is to basically like take, being a producer, being a sound engineer to overseas as well, not just Tanzania, right?
right, right.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
I love that. Now, other than being a producer, other than being a sound engineer, what else do you like to do? I see that you've been going to the gym, working out, getting ready for the summer, or you guys have summer all year round, but what else do you like to do?
Exactly. Hey, it's sad to say, but really nothing else. I literally go to the studio, go home, go to the gym, go home.
That's it.
Literally.
Wow. Are you an introvert?
Very much, very much so.
Oh, wow. I would have thought that you were a bit of an extrovert because Yeyo seems more of an extrovert, but you're
Oh,
more.
he's extroverted. He will never say he's extroverted, but he is. Ooh, he's the loudest person in the room, and whatever room you're in, he's the loudest person there. But he will always say, I don't like to talk much, as he's talking a lot. But yeah, I'm very introverted. I grew up very shy. I used to be very quiet. Like everyone used to say, "Why are you so quiet? Why are you so quiet?" That was me. I was that kid.
Hmm.
So even getting to a point where I can even do this interview, it's been a journey, man. Even the Yeyo interviews, I laughed when you said about that because I never want to go to those interviews, but he always drags me there. I'm like, okay, I'll come.
Oh,
So I'm always on there looking awkward. I've never been able to look at any of those interviews online to just see them again because I'm like, I look so cringy.
oh, bless him. No, but it's nice. I think it's really important to have somebody like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like somebody
right.
that actually cares, because oftentimes, like you don't see that a lot. Like, do you know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? But
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't think that you felt that way.
I'm very shy, man. I get very uncomfortable when I'm in a room and there's cameras on me and the lights are on me and the focus is on me. I get I'm like I don't want
So
to
then,
do
how do
that.
you like when you're performing? Then do you get shy as well there?
I get very nervous, but
Oh, okay.
I, after I push myself, like after I push through the first 5 minutes, I'm like, okay, let me just get this over with, and I get into the group of things and I start having fun. But outside of that, hey, but performing is different though. An interview is way more intimate.
Mm,
It's like I might say the wrong thing.
yeah.
Yeah, and these guys they have tricky questions, so I'm like, I don't want to say the wrong thing and upset somebody. So
So what do you do to calm your nerves then? Like when you're like performing or when you're like, you're about to do an interview, like what do you do to calm your nerves?
I just do it. I just do it. And eventually my hands will stop shaking because my hands get a bit shaky when I'm nervous.
Oh.
It's
But now you're
crazy.
okay now. You're used to it, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm used to it. I'm used to it. I used to be bad at conversation as well. Like I used to be terrible. So I've grown. I'm not the quiet kid I used to be. I'm still quite quiet. I still get called quiet most of the time. But after I've warmed up to someone, it's easy to talk and just be open with them. But yeah, I'm much better than I used to be.
Now it's very interesting that you say that you're an introvert because we're living in a very digital world,
Hmm.
and like sometimes like do you deal with like social media pressures, and how do you cope with that? Like how do you cope with the social media pressures, and how do you even like switch off when you're dealing with that?
Mm. Uh, I wouldn't say I deal with social as far as my social presence goes.
Mm,
I don't really have a problem with posting and being open online because I'm talking to my phone and I get to just like edit the video before I post it. So I'm usually comfortable by the time I post anything on social media. So that's not, I don't really struggle with that per se as far as uh, my social presence goes.
mm.
But as far as just like the social media content and stuff, yeah, I try to put my phone down uh, and not consume too much content, because then it kind of affects how I think, and just seeing what other people are doing can make you feel
Mm,
very very unaccomplished with your own
mm,
life, you know? And then so I just try to remind myself that, hey, sometimes if I, it's so funny because sometimes I feel like if someone was to look at the things that I post on Instagram, they would not even really know me, right?
mm,
Because I don't post everything. I post the stuff that I like. I post things that I want people to see. I don't post the times where I'm like scared or I'm nervous or I feel like I'm not moving or I feel like or the times where I'm broke. I don't post then, right? So
yeah, yeah, that's true.
I remind myself that the content that I consume on social media is what these people want me to see about their lives, not their full picture. And yeah, because sometimes you forget that and you just end up depressed about your own life.
So how do you deal with like imposter syndrome and the comparisons and like what does that do to your mental health?
It's tough, man. Syndrome is tough. I
Mm,
can't. A lot of times I feel like I'm not exactly who people think I am, right?
mm,
So it's weird. I feel like one day it feels like one day people are gonna find out that, oh, you're not really that good at what you do, and and I don't know, man. I just keep creating. I don't have a solution for that.
mm.
I just keep creating. Every now and then I'll make something good and I'll feel like I'm the man, and then I go back to feeling like an imposter again.
It's like an up and down stage,
Right,
isn't it?
right. So mostly I would say it's just understanding that, okay, the best analogy I can give is not every song an artist releases is gonna be a hit,
Yeah.
but every now and then they'll release a banger, you know?
Mm,
And on top of that, you never know which one's gonna be the biggest banger they release. Like, for example, like Burna Boy with Last Last. I thought he already had his biggest hits, and then he drops Last Last, and that just goes crazy, right?
mm,
So you never know. I try just to remind myself that whatever big things I've done before are not my peak.
yeah.
Something bigger is on its way, and I might not know what that is, but it's coming, and I believe that.
I love that. So what's next for Alkeys? Like what are you currently working on? Like what are your plans for the summer?
I'm working on. I'm gonna be releasing a bunch of remixes, so that's the plan right now. I've been
Mm.
working on a lo-fi album as well. Well, it's an
Oh,
EP,
nice.
so I'll be making just some Afrobeat, lo-fi music for people to listen to, and that's also gonna come out later this year. And
Nice.
obviously, a bunch of projects with Yeyo, working on his album.
Wow.
Uh,
Is it coming out this year as well?
yes, the album is coming out this year. We don't have a specific date yet, but it is
Mm,
coming out this
love
year, right?
that.
And a bunch of other tracks that I've worked on with Tommy and Vanilla, and yeah,
Oh, so you work
there.
with Vanilla as well?
Yeah, I worked on his debut EP.
Oh yeah, you did. You did. Yeah.
Yeah, I worked with him extensively at some point.
Nice.
Right.
So you have a lot of experience and obviously with working on the One King album, that's major. Like you should be proud of yourself because a lot of people would die for that opportunity, would want that opportunity.
I would have died for that opportunity.
Yeah,
So
it's major.
it's yeah, I believe that. I appreciate it to this day.
Yeah.
And yeah, I appreciate it to this day. And I mean, that's also kind of like the source of the imposter syndrome, though, because it's like, ooh, am I that guy?
Yeah, you are. And obviously,
So
at that moment when all of that happened, I'm sure when that opportunity came to you, you were so gassed. Like, you was excited, wasn't you?
I was very excited. I didn't even think. I didn't feel like. I didn't allow myself to get excited because I felt like it might not happen. I didn't really believe it was gonna happen until
Oh.
it really happened and the song came out and the album launched. That's when I was like, oh, it really happened, right? Because hey, as a producer, you work on so many songs, and this is my this is my thing with production. As a when you're just a music producer, you work on so many songs, and you don't have the power to release them. You just have to
Mm.
wait until the artist is ready to release them. Like there's songs I've worked with Tommy, for example, many songs that have not been released to this day.
Mm.
So I really didn't allow myself to get excited during because I was
Mm.
like, not even ever see the light of day. So it's cool, but let's just wait until it's out, you know?
Yeah, you don't want to get too excited and then it just doesn't come
Exactly.
out.
I want to tell people, and then they're like, where's the song?
Yeah. So would you say to like producers out there, especially the ones that are starting out, like when they're working on something, to like not be so quick to like announce it until it's actually out?
Definitely. Don't announce it. Don't announce it. You're just gonna have to answer a bunch of questions from people that you don't want to answer because the song's not out yet. Just wait. When it's out, you'll have all the glory.
Yeah. But obviously when they first told you that you're going to be working on it, you do want to like get too excited,
I
right?
I was excited, and I was scared. I was more scared than excited. I was like, oh, what if they think my beats are trash?
No, but being in the studio with them, especially with like Ali Kiba in the studio, were you like, what was going through your mind? Were you like, oh my god, he's actually like, yeah.
Yeah, that was going through my mind. Obviously, again, I'm a very reserved, quiet, shy person, so I didn't really show it. I was just very, quiet. But I was very excited. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I'm really in the same room as a bunch of these artists, and
You
I'm
can't
here.
mess up at this point. You're here now.
I cannot. Not now. Maybe
No.
after.
Yeah.
But yeah, the I'm just glad I got to, even though I was scared, after I was in the room and working with them, getting to know them, uh, I got comfortable. I was able to be myself to some extent. I was
Mm.
able to, and I was able to just sit back and learn as well. Because
Mm.
hey, these guys have been in the industry. Ali Kiba's been in the industry for over a decade now, so
Mm.
there's so much to learn from these people. So that was just it was a great experience. 2020 going into 2021 was a good time for me.
Yeah, especially with like everything that was happening then, like with the lockdown and stuff. Like, I'm guessing that was
That
like one of your best highlights, right?
yeah, yeah. Towards that end of I mean, I also learned how to play guitar, so that was also like
Yeah. Yeah.
turned a bad thing into a good thing. So yeah.
Amazing. Now, obviously, we're speaking about, being in these amazing rooms with like major artists. Like, what would you say to the people out there, not even just like producers, just in general, like being a creative,
Mhm,
in terms of like you as a brand and making sure you have a good reputation
mhm,
and like just, yeah, just being around people, making sure that you represent yourself very well.
mhm.
Yeah.
I would say be professional. That's the
Mm,
thing that's the most. And when I say be professional, I mean be on time, be communicate well, right? If
mm.
anything goes wrong, say that immediately, right? Because especially out here, woof, hey, people take their time and they someone will set up a session with you, and let's say like we set up the interview at 1, they'll text you at 3 p.m. like, hey, I'm sorry I couldn't make it. You know, that's the culture here. Or it's just African time, you know? So the thing that's really helped me is just being professional, staying like always making sure that I'm on time, always communicating and making sure that I'm doing a good job, being proactive at whatever it is that I'm doing. Even when I'm just in conversation with people, I try to be very proactive and just think ahead, think of every scenario possible to make sure that whatever we're doing, whatever we're talking about, everything goes smoothly. And yeah, just in doing that, you're going to exceed most people, other people work with, and you're gonna be the first person people want to work with, and like the first person that pops up in someone's head when they think of whatever it is that you're doing. Like, oh, I want to do this. Oh, go to Alvin, right? They're not gonna waste your
Mm.
time. They're gonna do a good job, and if anything goes wrong, they will let you know 31 or 30 minutes or 1 hour before that. Hey, this and that, you know. So the biggest thing for me is, yeah, just be professional.
So
Mm-hmm.
I would like to say thank you so much to Alvin, Alkeys, for coming to my platform. I really appreciate it. I know you're very busy. Any last words? Where can the people find you? Where can the people find the music and all sorts?
Mm-hmm. First of all, thank you for having me. Uh, was not expecting this, but I really appreciate you reaching out.
Why
And
was you not
people
expecting
can
it?
find me at. I don't. Hey, I've never been on an interview like this. You're probably the first. Nah, you are the first person that's ever interviewed me personally. Right. People can find me at It's Alkeys. That's
Mm.
ITS Alkeys, ALKEYS, on Instagram and on TikTok. And I'm on YouTube as Alkeys. And we'll be releasing music very
Nice.
soon, within a month from now.
Oh,
And
nice.
it'll all be Alkeys. I'm on TikTok as It's Alkeys, ITSALKEYS.
Thank you so
Uh-huh.
much. And I really appreciate it. And we should see you very soon on our screens.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you.
All the best onwards and upwards from here.
Amen. Amen.
All right. See you later. Bye.
All right. Bye. You have a good day.
You too.